実は怪物だった犯人がかまいたちを起こして殺したってオチ。
Oh, thanks. You just had to spoil who was the culprit in the latest episode of Detective Pikachu. We opened this week with our heroine, villains. Yeah, okay. I legit can't recall many times we've done this in Precure as of late. I mean, I think the last time we did was maybe in Delicious Party, and even then, that was fairly far into that series. Here though, not only do we get early into this series, but they also use this time to flesh out the baddies a little more, as they also include some very interesting exposition about how they get around the little issue that could screw themselves over and how often they attack.
過度に恐怖させてアリスピアに来なくなるようでは。ちょいと記憶いじってるだろ。
Honestly, this is a detail I wouldn't mind too much normally and would just let suspension of disbelief work its magic, but the fact that this show addressed it in a sensible way, I actually really appreciate for it. But yeah, because of it, the villains did have to put a cap on their activities, as while they could seemingly extend their memory manipulation to the size of a stadium, in the age of the smartphone, it would be difficult to shut down every thread on X or the like. With that though, the next evil general, Dron, decided to step up because... Try telling that to most Reiwa Precure seasons before the current one. Also, a fun touch that I noticed in the opening that as the villains are revealed in this show, the silhouettes are filled in each time, so next week we'll probably see Dron, and eventually this creepy as all hell big bad with the claw arms.
Claw 2.
Anyway, Dron handpicked his target, who was also being targeted by a certain idol fangirl. Of course, the idol expert Nachi knew all about her, and gave a little exposition about this Nagase Ichijo. And of course, it turned out that she went to their school, which we already kind of saw in the first episode, and might have seen her elsewhere in the show, but I can't quite remember where. Though to be fair to our characters, Nagase was a school year below our main cast so far, so they wouldn't have had much opportunity to interact with her without actively seeking her out. Thus, Minamo and Nachi decided to just go to her classroom during their break, where they got some unique interactions with her.
それ20秒前に言った。
Oh no, she's stupid.
Okay, I kid, because I almost immediately liked Nagase here, especially when she started to go off and even made the assumption that the two were there to fight her, and she started doing some freaking shadow boxing. Like seriously, with how energetic this girl is, you'd almost think that the director of the Excel Saga was somehow involved in this, and oh, he was.
ナベシン川口に呼ばれてノッコの子登場した大人げない演出か
Excuse me a minute, I'm just gonna go check if there were any afros in this episode. Anyway, after school, the girls did some proper non-Detective Conan-esque introductions. Minamo in particular expressed her admiration for her Kohai, to which Nagase very graciously accepted her compliments, though do be careful, as I'm pretty sure you could knock someone's head off with that. That said, I do like these little bits that get across this girl's very quirky personality. Like, on the one hand, Nagase is obviously very friendly, but her manners really do need some work. Like, seriously, don't just grab Minamo's notebook out of her hands like that. Moreover, as we saw earlier, she does suffer from tunnel vision, to the point that if she thinks she knows something, she'll just go headfirst with her theories, even as people are correcting her misassumptions. It's good characterization that highlights her good and fun points, but also subtly hints at her character flaws, none of which include her English skills. Hey, you don't know, maybe she actually wants to shut down a few stars. Also, we normally don't bring up next episode previews, but really, this is way too good to overlook.
Monday, Sunday, yesterday! Monday, Sunday, yesterday! I'll be back. I'll be back.
いや、それは別の役者だ
Later, Minamo told Kaguri about her encounter with her second waifu, which she took surprisingly well, even though deep down, I think we all know what she was actually thinking, especially once Minamo said that they were going to see her concert.
お暇? そうね。いいかもしれないわね。
I'll be sure to bring my kitchen knife with me. I'm sorry, what? Oh, nothing. But yeah, they all agreed to be in the Alice Beer for Nagase's concert. On the day of the event, this bird person helped Nagase with her setup, and interestingly enough, after we brought up Satomi Arai in the review for that other magical girl show yesterday, she was in this show. And she wasn't the only fun cameo, as this girl named Aiko was voiced by Rikako Aida.
アリスペアに文字通り一条の流れ星のごとく現れた時の人。近いし。
Yeah, this is probably what Riko would be like if she actually gave in to her love for Yuri manga. And again, you just gotta love some of this Nabashin storyboarding, as little gags like Nagase's back hurting after Aiko actually out-Yankee girled her just had to have been thought up by him. It's the kind of direction that doesn't really need good quality animation, and in fact, it actually kind of looks funnier with wonkier and stretchy animation like this. I'm also going to assume that Aiko is going to be the victim of next week, as this week it was of course Nagase after Dran had picked her out. With that, she had her Princession strain, which alerted Navier, who in turn alerted the princesses. They transform with a justified split screen and abbreviated sequence. I mean, I love their transformations and everything, but I've also been enjoying Nagase's introduction this episode even more, so yeah, I do hope that they just hurry up and stop her from being emo. Sure enough, we got a short but effective enough battle, at least enough to sell this whole kick-ass princess concept to a certain shutting star. Shh, different show. The other point of this battle was to show that Minamo and Kagari all remained for a powerful duo who totes didn't need a third member, unless they could bring something fun to the party, hopefully. Anyway, Drun seemingly took his defeat gracefully, even though more likely he was just trying to scout out their enemy. He also took this opportunity to brag about why they consume Muse Essence.
食事とかな。
Have you considered some less predatory alternatives? Like recently, I have taken to oat milk when it comes to putting in my tea rather than cow juice. The two sides were about to clash for the first time, but thankfully they didn't waste such a big moment this early into the series, as taking care of a certain greenhead took priority. Nagase, you're non-Ultraman, and again, stop referencing the other show. Anyway, Minamo told her that some princesses who just so happened to be passing through took care of the Jamorks, which actually got Nagase to be a little more subtle for once, as she singly found her new muse. Granted, she still did end up fangirling for her idol senpai. But yeah, while she clearly still had energy to spare, the princesses convinced her to cancel her concert for the day and just go home and get some rest. This did leave some of her fans like Nachi disappointed, but more importantly, our heroines need to start figuring out what was the deal with their enemy. A band for one thing, I mean it's right in their names. With that though, the episode ended with Nagase reflecting on her day and perhaps considering taking up some lessons from Miss Shamor. This was a great introduction to the third main heroine of the show. Nagase is just one of the most insanely entertaining characters I've seen at least this season so far. And yet, in spite of being a bundle of energy, she never came off as annoying. It helped that they knew when to pull back on this character, and in turn are building up nicely for what's about to come. I think one of the most important factors for making a likable hyperactive character is to have other characters to bounce them off of. Whether they be a straight man, or hell, even sometimes an even crazier character, they just need someone to be able to put them in their place. Nagase managed to get both of these, with Minamo mostly fulfilling the role of the former, while Aiko gave her a taste of her own medicine at times. As a result, all of her scenes were very entertaining, even when she was being a little extra, like when Nachi was her partner in crime. It was also likely helped by Nabashin specializing in comedic storyboarding that imbues characters with all the personality possible. It effectively characterized Nagase in a way that we can now look forward to her achieving a certain goal that we all know is coming next week, hopefully. That said, the villains of the show also got some pretty decent spotlighting. Not only do we get some unexpectedly great world building with them explaining how they're able to get around with no one being alarmed by their presence, we also got small hints at what they wanted out of the Muse Essence. It's all very intriguing, and gets us more invested in the main conflict, along with wanting to see more fun characters like Nagase. And overall, this is a really fun introduction to our third main heroine of the show. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to seeing this star shut across the skies like no one has ever shut before. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you won't shut off from seeing some other great videos on this channel, hopefully. Now that I've settled down for my Japan trip, we are returning to our normal schedule, minus a Wednesday review this week, though we probably should use that time to catch up with Gojuger. Still, look forward to Kamara Gav, and until then though, farewell for now my friends, and
I'll be back.
Nagase was the one who said, not you.